Hello subscribers, friends and colleagues. Here we are again in another episode in Human Factor Analysis. Today we are going to explore integrating human factor analysis into accident investigation. In the aftermath of an accident, the immediate instinct is often to identify what went wrong mechanically or procedurally. A machine failed, a process wasn't followed, safety equipment malfunctioned. While these technical factors are crucial, focusing solely on them misses a critical piece of the puzzle, the human element. As previously discussed, human factors contribute to an estimated 70 to 80% of workplace accidents, yet traditional investigation methods frequently treat human error as the endpoint rather than the beginning of deeper analysis. By integrating comprehensive human factor analysis into accident investigations, organizations can uncover the systemic issues that create conditions for human error and develop more effective prevention strategies. Human factors encompass the complex interactions between people, technology, procedures, and organizational systems. When we simply label an incident as human error, we're missing the opportunity to understand why that error occurred and what conditions made it more likely. Consider a maintenance technician who skips a crucial safety step, leading to an injury. The surface-level conclusion might be failure to follow procedure. However, human factor analysis might reveal that the technician was working excessive overtime, the procedure was poorly written, lighting was inadequate, or management pressure prioritized speed over safety. Several proven frameworks can guide investigators beyond surface-level findings. The Shell model examines interactions between software, procedures, manuals, hardware, equipment, tools, the environment, physical and organizational, and liveware, people. This framework helps investigators systematically examine how each element contributed to the incident. Human Factors Analysis and Classification System, HFACS, provides a structured approach to identifying organizational influences, unsafe supervision, preconditions for unsafe acts, and the unsafe acts themselves. This creates a clear chain from organizational decisions to individual actions. The Swiss cheese model illustrates how multiple system failures must align for an accident to occur. Each slice represents a defense layer, and when holes in multiple layers align, incidents happen. This framework emphasizes that human error rarely occurs in isolation. Let's take a quick look at some practical integration strategies. Start with the right questions. Instead of asking, "What did the person do wrong?" begin with, "What made sense to this person at the time?" This shift in perspective opens investigators to understanding the context and constraints that influence decision-making. Map the timeline with human factors. Create detailed timelines that include not just events, but also fatigue levels, workload pressures, communication breakdowns, and decision points. This reveals patterns that pure chronological accounts miss. Examine organizational influences. Look beyond the immediate work environment to organizational factors. Safety culture, resource allocation, training adequacy, and management priorities. Often, the roots of human error trace back to organizational decisions made far from the accident scene. Include workers in the investigation. The people closest to the work often have the deepest insights into systemic issues. Create safe spaces for honest discussion about workplace pressures, procedural limitations, and informal workarounds that may have contributed to the incident. Building a human factors investigation team. Effective human factor analysis requires diverse perspectives. Consider including safety professionals with human factors training, frontline workers familiar with the tasks involved, supervisors who understand operational pressures, human resources representatives who can address training and fitness for duty issues. And finally, external experts for complex investigations. For example, an incident review board. Train your investigation team to recognize cognitive biases like hindsight bias, fundamental attribution error, and confirmation bias that can skew findings toward individual blame rather than systemic understanding. One of the most common approaches to incident investigation is the blame culture, commonly disguised under the heading of human error. Let's take a quick view at moving from blame to systems thinking. The goal of human factor analysis isn't to excuse poor decisions or unsafe behavior, but to understand why they seemed reasonable at the time. This systems thinking approach leads to more effective corrective actions. Instead of simply retraining individuals, address the conditions that made errors more likely. Instead of punitive measures, implement design changes that make safe behavior easier and unsafe behavior harder. Beyond lagging indicators. Traditional safety metrics focus on injury rates and compliance scores, important but reactive measures. Human factor analysis enables proactive measurement through assessment of safety climate and culture, analysis of near-miss reporting patterns, evaluation of workload and fatigue management, monitoring of communication effectiveness, and tracking of procedural compliance and deviation patterns. How do we make a business case for human factors analysis? Organizations that integrate human factors into accident investigation typically see more effective corrective actions that address root causes, reduced repeat incidents and similar occurrences, improved safety culture and employee engagement, better regulatory compliance and reduced liability, and enhanced operational efficiency through system improvements. Here is a quick look at how we can implement a roadmap for human factors analysis. Phase 1, Foundation Building. Develop human factors competency within your investigation team through training and certification programs. Establish investigation protocols that explicitly include human factor analysis components. Phase 2, Process Integration. Modify existing investigation procedures to incorporate human factor frameworks. Create tools and checklists that guide investigators through systematic human factor analysis. Phase 3, Culture Development. Foster an organizational culture that views human error as a symptom of system weaknesses rather than personal failings. Encourage open reporting and learning from incidents. Phase 4, Continuous Improvement. Regularly review investigation findings to identify patterns in human factor contributions. Use these insights to proactively address systemic issues before they lead to incidents. Okay, let's have a look at the conclusion and the path forward. Integrating human factor analysis into accident investigation represents a fundamental shift from reactive blame assignment to proactive system improvement. It requires investment in training, tools, and cultural change, but the returns in both safety performance and operational excellence justify the effort. The accidents that haven't happened yet are waiting for us to understand not just what went wrong, but why it made sense to go wrong. Human factor analysis provides the lens to see these deeper truths and the pathway to prevention. As safety professionals, our goal should be creating systems so robust and intuitive that doing the right thing becomes the natural choice, even under pressure. This is the promise of human-centered safety design, and it begins with honest, comprehensive investigation of how humans interact with the systems we create. Well, that's it for this presentation. I hope you gained some useful information that you can use within your organization. Thank you and see you all soon. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.